My beloved son and daughter, husband and wife, father and mother, fiancés, don't ever build your relationship on materialism. Don't ever measure the love of your man for you according to what kind of a diamond ring he has purchased you for your wedding. Don't ever measure what kind of a wedding he is providing, what limousines and what bridesmaids and groom's best man, and what kind of a house, what kind of a life he's offering. You need to focus on one thing. Does he love you for you or not? Because everything fades away except the love when it is genuine. You know, I always quote this verse when a couple comes to talk to me about marriage. Proverbs 31:10, the last chapter of the book of Proverbs, the last chapter, 31 and verse 10. King Solomon, out of the wisdom that he received from God himself, he based this verse for people who wish to get married. It's a marital verse. What does verse 10 say? A virtuous woman who can find, question mark. That's the first half of verse 10. A virtuous woman who can find, for her price exceeds the pearls or the precious stones. Second half. Virtuous, the first half of the verse is meant for the men. And the second half of the verse is meant for the woman, for the girl. He's coming to the man, he says, my son, if you are looking for a girl to marry, look for a girl that is virtuous. And what does the word virtuous mean? Fearing the Lord. What does it mean, fearing the Lord? Loving Jesus Christ of Nazareth. He says, my son, if you are looking for a girl in marriage, you better look for a girl that loves the Lord Jesus. Don't look and base your relationship on her looks, the way she looks. I'm not saying marry someone that will startle you every morning you open your eyes to. I'm not saying that. But don't base it that she is stunning, she is breathtaking, she's blonde, 6 foot, blue eyes, green eyes. None of that. Because this external beauty, after a few years, will fade away. And so is your love, if it was based on it. But look for a girl that loves the Lord Jesus. Why? Because this is the true beauty of the woman, when she has love for Christ the King. If you can find a girl that loves the Lord Jesus, do not be afraid of her, because the Messiah that dwells in her heart will teach her always to be good to you. He is the good God. Find a girl that loves the Lord, you've hit the jackpot. And my daughter, you're looking for a guy. Find a man that will see you in his eyes more precious than the pearls, for her price exceeds the precious stones or the pearls. So my daughter, look for a guy that sees you in his eyes more precious than the pearls. Now, what is more precious than the pearls? St. Paul answers King Solomon in the New Testament, and he comes and talks about the Lord Jesus and says, and he, meaning the Lord, who has purchased us not with silver, not with gold, not with precious stones or pearls, but with his own blood. So what is more expensive than pearls? Blood. And what is blood? Life. He's saying to you, my daughter, look for a man that is willing to put his life on the line for you. And my son, look for a girl that loves Jesus. If you can find this combination, that marriage will last till the day the Lord calls it the day. But if we are looking for the wrong things, that's why we encounter problems. The moment there is no money, there is fighting. The moment there is no car, there is fighting. The moment there is no mansion, there is fighting. And the moment that lifestyle is not able to be maintained as it was from the beginning, see you later, alligator. But when Christ is the reason, I'm with you in good times and in bad times. I am with you in sickness and in health. I am with you in poorness and in richness. I am with you at all times, because the day I married you because of the Lord that I saw in you. Because of the Lord that I saw in you. Man, everything is the Lord. You see, He gives meaning, He gives purpose, He gives identity and dignity to everything. It's the Lord. It's the Lord. And I can dwell on this. I have to move on. I need to teach myself to move on. Somebody hold me. All right, very good. Relax, okay. Now, in the middle of its street and on either side of the river was the tree of life. Now, who is this tree of life? The Lord Jesus. We find that in Genesis. When we go to the book of Genesis, there was three kind of trees in the Garden of Eden. There was the tree of life in the center, and there was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and there was other trees. God pre-warned Adam. He said, you can eat from those trees, you can eat from the tree of life, but the day you eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, surely you shall die. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil is me and you. We are the tree. It's not Apple, like iPhone. It's a wrong symbol, my dear friend. The Holy Bible is very clear. The Holy Bible is not talking about a fruit or a citrus tree. It's talking about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It's a literal tree called the human being. We are the tree. The tree of life is Christ. The tree of life is Christ. So he says, in the middle of the streets, on either side of the river, was the tree of life. So who is the tree of life? Christ the King. On either side of the river was the tree of life. On either side. The river here is also representing the Lord Jesus. He said, the living waters, His word, and He is the word, He is the Logos. On either side of the Lord. On one side is the New Testament church, and on the other side is the church in heaven. The church on earth is on one side, and the church in heaven is on the other side of the tree of life. The church on earth is the militant church, and the church in heaven is the triumphant church. See, those who preceded us to paradise, they fought the good battle on earth, which was based on love. They sacrificed their life for the Lord Jesus. They held that truth and they fought for the sake of that truth, and they took the light of the world wherever they went in this dark world. Some of them were killed, some of them were persecuted, and whatever happened, but they were faithful servants of the Lord. They made it to paradise. Now that is the triumphant church, and the one that is still on earth fighting the same battle, hoping by the grace of the Lord that church on earth will make it to heaven, where they will all be one at the end. So us Christians now, we are the militant church on earth. We're fighting against this evil world, but our fight is with love, not with chopping heads. With love. This is the sword of the Lord, love. His word is the sword, and His word is love. The sword cuts, but it also frees, sets free. With the same sword you can kill, and with the same sword you can set someone free. When you accept the word, which is the sword of the Lord, that word will set you free. You've been captive, held captive by Satan for so long. I had so many habits. I couldn't get rid of them. For years I struggled. Every time I faced that particular habit, I was so weak. I fell before it. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't overcome it. The sword came one day and set me free. But if I reject the word will judge me, i.e. will kill me at the end. So on one side is the church of Christ on earth. On the other side, it is the triumphant church in paradise in heaven. And that was the tree of life.